Yeah. So I finally figured out why I record these videos. Oh wait, I forgot again why I record the videos. Um, so the reason is not to get views. I really don't care. It's to document the journey, but doing it online kind of forces me into some form of accountability to get things working. So it's more for accountability and documentation, not for views. Probably could help somebody, but oh well. Um. Uh, So I had my first customer interview on ExoCortex today, and things are not looking good. Things are not looking good. Anyways, so my elder brother recommended to read The Mom Test, which is basically a book that guides you through the wrong things and the right things to do in a customer interview. And so I finished it between yesterday and today. It was just 122 pages. And I had my first interview 9 p.m. EST time zone, and pretty interesting interview. Was with it was with somebody that it was with the founder of a startup that I worked previously with in the US. Awesome guy, awesome guy. I took away a number of things from the conversation. He told me certain problems that he felt like would be more suited to my skills, things that he felt like I should look into solving, and that were more global markets kind of things. He told me about certain consulting opportunities that were available and stuff like that, which is pretty good also. Um, just that, one of the tests that I learned from the $1 million weekend, and maybe I kind of botched it a bit, I don't know, is to ask for monetary commitment. And in the $1 million weekend, they're like, ask for monetary commitment immediately. But in the mom test, they were like, let there be a product first. But all in all, when I listened to him during the interview, so what I did basically was that I had that book, the mom test, and then I wrote out a bunch of questions that were in accordance with the mom test fundamentals. I had my like a cheat sheet ready. There's a cheat sheet in the book, but like I wanted specific questions that were tailored towards my own product, things that reminded me of things that I should do and things that I shouldn't do, and all that kind of thing. And so that was pretty awesome for me. I just basically asked him those questions, ran through those things, struggled a tiny bit, but because I had those questions ready, it was a bit easier to kind of ask him those questions. But all in all, it just came back to the fact that his solutions were pretty okay enough for him, and it didn't seem like it was a hair on fire problem. So hair on fire problems are essentially problems that they will take the nastiest of solutions to solve it. They don't really care. They just take it like the way Michael Selber, who is I hope I pronounced his name right, who is a group partner at Y Combinator, the famous startup accelerator, describes it is your solution could be a brick, like somebody's air is on fire, literally is the problem here, and you're trying to solve it for them. Now, a perfect solution would probably be, oh, give me a bucket of water or something like that, or take me to a shower, whatever the case may be, basically. But he's saying, so if based on the intensity of it, some people would even say, just give me a rock and let me just smother the fire on my head, and then kill it out. So just listening to him, and of course he had, because he's quite a visionary person also, he had the same problems that I have, which is why I thought about the idea originally, in that my notes are usually very much scattered, they're not organized. I never can find things when I need to find them. I never follow up on ideas, and hence I'm missing opportunities and things like that. And some of the solutions out there like Notion and Tiago Forte's second brain method and all those things. Personally, they just feel too complex and like too much work. And I really don't want to do that. I just want something to just dump things off my brain. But right now, it's not looking like a product that will scale. I'm thinking I'll build it personally for myself, depending on the amount of time that I do have. But it seems like most people are convenient, are okay with enough with the problems, with the solutions they have for the problem right now, and don't care enough to actually do anything like that. I This week I still have like three more interviews, but those ones are more tilted towards, because these people are also founders who actually building something similar. Like some of them are building Jarvis products. One of them is actually like a productivity expert or something like that. One of them is building a Jarvis product, like Jarvis in Iron Man. One of them is also building automation. So I have like three more, and so I'll just see the consensus maybe I'll get one more, and but I don't think this idea is going anywhere. But he did give me like a possible pivot into data sovereignty. Told me to look into it, that if I could, and I looked into it a bit. And the problem with data sovereignty essentially is that there are so many standards around the world, and usually you have to in every country where you're operating as a business, and the idea applies more to bigger companies and not individuals, which of course offers a bigger payday. So basically, if you're dealing with data, which you always are doing as a company. But so for instance, if you're in the US, I think there's the CCPA, I think the California something Protection Act. Then if you are in Europe, it's GDPR, I think Global Data Protection something, and then a lot of countries have their own specific standards. And the problem that companies have is that they usually cannot meet up to all those standards quite easily, and then there are crazy fines. You can get up to a $20 million fine in some cases, or 4% of your total earning, whichever is higher, various things like that. So because those standards are different across many places where people have to operate, it's difficult. And where comes the problem is basically, for instance, they are moving things to the cloud, which then means, for instance, like if they are using on-premises servers, for instance, it's very easy to have things on premises, and so you just make your own servers within those countries, which maybe is not too crazy with AWS structures and stuff like that. Is something that you look into. But in cases where you're moving things to the cloud, if AWS doesn't have a server in the country where you want to operate, then it might be a problem and all those kind of things. There's also documentation and regulatory reporting to the authorities about data. There's also ways on processing the data. There are restrictions in processing data. So I don't know, I'm trying to understand that problem a bit more, but I'm not trying to dive into it because I don't know if it's something that I'm interested in, or it's something that I'm skilled enough to solve or want to solve, or whatever the case may be. But it's a possible pivot, and yeah. So Mom Test was a pretty good book. But it's one thing that I always say: knowledge will always find you out whenever you're just obsessing and pressing. So I was just chatting with my brother, and he told me about that book in church today. Actually, somebody also told me about the book. Somebody also is a developer, just told me about the book, and I was like, wow. Also, it's what I just said, that when you sit with words that God has given you, prophecies and things like that, it causes everything that you need to come to you. And I remember the book of Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, where it literally says that the whole world comes together to help you achieve the dreams and visions and stuff like that. I'm paraphrasing now, that you have sought to achieve. So I'm just praying for the breath of God for wisdom, and I'll keep on going. There's a bit of confusion about other things, watching a lot of things, reading a lot of things, seeing a lot of possible opportunities, writing a lot of things down, trying to not get lost in the fog of ideas, because there's quite a ton of them in the fog of opportunities, and just sit down with one, focus on it, and keep on building. Some I'm less interested in, some I'm more interested in, but that's not necessarily the marker of success. It's speaking to the customers, and then it's the breath of God. So have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, and we wake up to Monday tomorrow. I pray that I will be able to sleep this night, that my mind will not be racing tonight. And but I already have like a predilection, or I feel like I should just stay up and read more, watch a few more stuff. I don't know. Anyways, have a wonderful evening.